and welcome to the second day of this Group B for the Corsair Gaming Summer Tournament. We are here with the winners bracket finals. It is KP taking on Fnatic, and one of these two teams will already secure their place in the playoffs, as this is just the group stages, so it's a mini double elimination bracket that we have here. The loser of this match will move on to the loser bracket finals, which will be up against TCM Gaming and will be happening right after this best of 3. Of course, this is game number 1. We'll see if we need 2 or 3 games. Of course, if it's up to these two teams, they probably both want to have it 2 games, preferably in their favor, obviously. And we're gonna see if they can do that. And I say we because I don't just mean myself and you viewers, but I also mean the team that we have here to provide you with coverage. So you will be able to see some stats when we're inside the game. Those stats are provided by Musik. And of course you can also hear my co-caster when I actually let him talk. It is Kanaz that will be co-casting today. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
So I'm letting you talk. How about that? I did a bit of different intro, like small difference, but those, like, otherwise I keep saying the same thing. I notice myself, I'm just starting to, you know, this is happening, this is happening, this is co-caster, you won't hear him, you won't see him, but you see what he does, blah, and the person that you will hear. Because I've said that like often, so I try to, you know, maybe switch it up a little bit. Minor bits.
Yeah, when you cast like 6+ games a day, and you're saying the same intro every time. You gotta mix it up. Mix it up a little bit.
They're gonna keep people at home awake and stuff. You know, they don't want to see the same thing over and over again. They want to see, oh my god, this match is gonna be the most original match ever, because, you know, it doesn't really look like that from the draft. But I do like the Naga Siren. I was actually gonna say Visage, but I like the Naga Siren maybe a bit more because Fnatic doesn't normally play him that often. We do know NoTL is gonna play that Visage though, but who's gonna play the Naga Siren? Because Naga Siren, he can be played as support, as a mid, as a carry. What's he gonna be?
Yeah, it's hard to say what they're gonna want to do with the Naga yet. Even off lane is like a thing you could do with Naga, but I don't know. We'll see as they go on through the draft. Nothing given away by having a Visage pick. There's not any particular great synergy between the two for lane combinations. As the game goes on, obviously Riptide's pretty good with familiars, but for now, just they will have Naga. Gives them the team fight ability in the form of the sleep, the net, to go through BKB, and we'll see what KP are going to do about it.
Yeah, and of course it's also very defensive, and if you know that there's a Bedrider on your opponent team, he normally has the habit of blinking in and then force staffing out with someone that he drags along. And of course, if there's a Naga Siren, unless of course there's a Naga Siren that gets initiated on, there will be a song and you can try to stop Bedrider, and that will actually create a scene where Bedrider should, if the song is on par, leave Bedrider slightly out of place. And they might be able to shut him down. They have got, of course, that net. They've got themselves the burst damage from the Visage. You already mentioned the Riptide that helps with the burst as well. I mean, can be a nice potential for later on in the game. For early on in the game, well, it really depends on what they're going to be playing it as. As KP, they already revealed that the Bedrider is going to be played by Bone 7, because the puck will, of course, be in the hands of RTZ.
Yeah, pretty likely that we'll see RTZ on the puck again. He did a pretty good job with it yesterday.
Didn't he have, like, when Musik gave us stats yesterday, I'm not sure which of the 2 games it were, because both of these teams, by the way, they 2-0'd their counterparts in the previous part of the group stages, but I think it said it was 6-0 for RTZ playing the puck.
Might have been. It was high. I don't remember if it was 100%. It might have been. So long ago.
It was yesterday.
so many days ago.
So many days and so many games ago, yeah.
Yeah, so many games ago. Definitely, he played well, so I wouldn't be surprised. And they don't pick him up that often. Maybe also RTZ doesn't actually end up playing with KP that often, from what we've seen, just because of school for him and when they were playing in European tournaments. But definitely, that's a stat I could believe. If it was something like 5-0 that they've won every time we puck, and maybe eventually teams will start banning it out, but obviously not going to be the case here. They'll have it this game, and Fnatic are going to have to pick up a pretty strong mid to deal with that. They can't just give RTZ free farm on puck again and give him solo kills as well, because we saw him yesterday. He snowballed pretty hard in both of those.
Very true. Of course, I mean, I guess the opponent was a bit less highly ranked on paper. I say that very, very polite. So we are gonna see a bit of maybe different matchup here. But yeah, I mean, one thing that we also have to keep in mind is that, well, actually, No-Tail is the puck player for Fnatic, or does Honey play it again? Because we saw No-Tail playing a lot of puck as well.
Was that while Honey was on
Honey was
vacation?
away. Yes.
Yeah, so that's probably why.
Okay, because, I mean, if you're up against a player that knows exactly what to do with puck, it's obviously going to be a little less easy, because also that player would know how to counter it. We still have the OD in the pool as well as the Queen of Pain. Two strong mid heroes that we have seen quite a bit of against pucks lately. And also, of course, just we saw it yesterday a couple of times as well. I mean, a support doesn't really have to do anything, but just standing around might actually put the odds in the favor of the lane that he is coming towards. And we saw that yesterday when there was actually a support around, and I believe it was actually Come With Me at that point as well, that just stood there and just made sure, like, even though he didn't get any experience himself, his own mid player was getting a bit ahead, and therefore, in the end, winning the lane.
Yeah, definitely. That's really, I think, what helped them that first game.
Yeah.
Was setting up the mid lane to just really, really get a huge advantage, sacrificing even somewhat their carry because they didn't care that much. They knew if they had a big puck in the mid game and he was able to move around, get kills that way, they really couldn't lose. So they went with that. It worked out well. I don't know if necessarily Fnatic will pick a team that's so obviously weak in the mid game, especially with already having Visage and Naga Siren. Neither of those heroes are particularly terrible in the mid game. Naga is kind of meh sometimes, unless you pick up a sort of wombo combo-y AoE teamfight team. But Visage is definitely very powerful in that phase.
Yeah, fully, like, definitely. And I mean, even if you're not powerful, you at least have a song to make sure that your opponent team can't be powerful while they try to go for you. So yeah, I already like that Fnatic's lineup is indeed that versatile, because it can go either way. Lone Root gets picked up. I have to say, KP took a long time to decide what they were going to ban out. They banned out some supports, a Bane and a Keeper of Light, and that kind of says to me that they're probably expecting Naga Siren to be either mid or carry. I'm still not convinced. But apparently they banned out some setup disable, of course, with the Bane. Interesting to note that they pick up or ban out the Bane rather than the Shadow Demon, as Shadow Demon is considered also a bit of a counter towards that Bat Rider, just to disrupt the target that gets lassoed. And also, of course, the Illuminate, that if it hits multiple targets, Visage is indeed gonna get multiple instances of his Soul Assumption. So they ban out a bit against a tri-lane that they don't want to face. While Fnatic, they ban out the Rubik, so another setup support banned out for them, so only the Shadow Demon kind of in the pool for that. And the Gyrocopter as well, so a carry banned out. And Nature's Prophet gets picked up now by KP, and I have to say, like, this is 3 solo lanes. If they want to, they don't need anything else anymore. Nature's Prophet is probably gonna go into the jungle, but you're now gonna have to either share your jungle between and Bat Rider and Nature's Prophet, or you're gonna have to make sure that your solo lane, your solo Bat Rider or Nature's Prophet that are gonna be on the off lane are gonna be able to farm.
Yeah, they might try and force Bat Rider up against Lone Druid, but then they end up with a dual lane against a tri-lane. I don't know. But Nature's Prophet doesn't necessarily really need that much of a space in the jungle, especially early on. And Bat Rider only uses 2 camps as well, so they can sort of work together. It's going to be kind of awkward, though, definitely, if they both try and force the jungle. Yeah. Maybe they're just not expecting that difficult of a tri-lane coming out from Fnatic.
Yeah, to be fair, if they are expecting an aggressive tri-lane, and I think they can be safe with the dual lane, like having either a Shadow Demon and carry with an escape mechanism or something, then it could be okay. It could be like a Morphling would actually be really nice for KP actually. But yeah, then that off lane would of course be okay. And there's the OD. Of course, we already talked about that the mid lane should be one to be able to beat the puck, and we talked about Queen of Pain and OD, and it's the OD of the two that were still left that could actually beat puck in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think OD is a powerful pick here. It's pretty difficult to play as Puck against an Outworld Devourer. Obviously, Puck is a mid-hero, so is going to struggle as the damage and mana pool are both going to be drained away by that Astral Imprisonment. Definitely powerful, and we'll see what they're going to do about it, if they're still just going to send Puck mid into obviously an unfavorable matchup, or if they have another response, maybe move things around a little bit.
Yeah, they go for Lina, so that's their support. Quite surprising, as that is not really... It's a very safe support. And... Well, there needs to be a bit of a setup stun, but maybe that's going to be something that their carry is going to offer. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to be doing with their lineup. I have to say, I'm not really convinced with this one, but we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, I don't know if the Lina, that's really strange if it's only going to be their single support. Maybe they're going to run like Farming Nature's Prophet in the hands of Envy. And just like run him in the safe lane carry role. That would be pretty unusual, to be sure, since he can be run in sort of less ways that require less attention from your team. You don't need someone really supporting you there, but if that's what they want to do with this lineup, it's certainly a thing they could think about. It's very strange.
Yeah, Nyx Assassin gets banned out, so another support. They're still expecting Naga Siren to be a carry. It is a Spectre that Envy won't be able to play in this matchup. Because of course Envy Hero is the only one that's left. He really likes the anti-mage still. There we have still a support, so that's going to be a support that works really nice together with the Naga Siren. I mean, Lina and Leshrac do the same kind of thing, but you have got yourself a net. You Ice Path or Macropyre or Dual Breath over the net, and of course the incredible burst from Visage will be there as well. I mean, that's just a brilliant combination there, and I'm actually thinking aggressive trial lane would be really nice because, I mean, Lone Druid, I still like him, but I like him most now on the safe lane purely because he needs his farm. He can't have a easy way out anymore with the armlet, kinda. And Shadow Fiend, of course, for KP.
Yeah, the Shadow Fiend pick, and Arteezy's currently holding Shadow Fiend. I don't know if they're going to swap right away. Just so that Eternal Envy runs Shadow Fiend as sort of a carry role, or if they're going to send Shadow Fiend mid. I don't.
I'm
really
expecting. Oh, it's yeah. You're right. Envy on the puck. That's not something that we normally see.
It might be they're trying to dodge puck away from the OD, and obviously Shadow Fiend is a ranged agility hero, so the Mana Steal not going to be as intense for him. He gets a lot of damage as time goes on. To try and compete with OD's damage, but you need to be able to get those last hits to start. And Necromastery, a lot of times you're getting some of the early last hits since he does like 38 base damage via Shadow Raises. If you don't have that mana to Shadow Raise because you're constantly being Astral Imprisoned, it gets a lot harder. So I don't know if this is their strategy necessarily to go against the OD, give Arteezy the Shadow Fiend and just send him there.
Maybe they still swap.
It's also possible they just swap and I'm overthinking it. I'm
kind of expecting them to swap.
I think so too.
I wouldn't be surprised. Because we don't normally see Envy on the puck. Like, normally I was gonna say, like, he plays anti-mage. That's his most played hero. Overall.
Yeah, I don't know. We do have Come With Me, though, on the Nature's Prophet. So we're probably seeing him jungling and then Bone 7 off lane. And I don't know if Bone will be able to stay there. If we have like a defensive or offensive trialing from Fnatic, they can easily send Bone 7 to the offlane, just match him up against the Lone Druid. I just don't know how this dual lane, if it's going to be Lina, Shadow Fiend, is going to survive against that trialing coming out from Fnatic.
It will be tough. It will be very tough. But they like, we saw it kind of coming, and we're gonna assume, like, I mean, they are the professionals. They should have seen it coming too. So maybe they have a plan to see how they can make it work. In the meantime, I'm gonna call you back on Skype because otherwise Musik can't get back. Apparently his Skype is not working, or he just stuck in controlling Skype, which also could be an option. But we're gonna make it easy on him and just call him back.
Okay.
Doink, 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 doink. There we go. And there we were again.
Yeah, it's working for me.
Yeah, working for me too. And we have got the goal again as well for the match, of course. Pause is over. Let's see who is playing what. I'm gonna first introduce Fnatic because I'm still hoping like maybe a bit of a switch around something, or maybe not, but you know, I'm giving them a chance. I'm giving them a chance. We have got No-Tail playing the Visage. It will be Hani on the OD. Era will play the Naga Siren. Trixie on the Lone Druid, and that is Fly gonna be on the Jakiro, and that is everybody on Fnatic's side.
Yep. And did you fix your overlay? People are complaining in chat
Good
that
point.
you still have the draft one.
I didn't have it fixed. Thank you.
Right. There we go.
Fixed.
All right. For KP, we're going to have Come With Me on the Nature's Prophet. He's hanging out in the fountain for now, so probably going to end up in the jungle. Mid lane, it's still Arteezy, so it looks like he's going to be on the Shadow Fiend, unless they swap, like, right as the creeps spawn. Let's look at his... No, not with those items. So he's definitely going to be mid on the Shadow Fiend. Bone 7, he's up in that off lane position on the Bat Rider. Hanging out in the jungle right now, we have Eternal Envy on the puck, so probably heading towards the bottom lane. And where's the last guy? Pylite. Going to be on the Lima. Use the Light Strike Array to clear off those trees.
Yeah.
And now heading back to get mana.
It's gonna be making the pooling and stacking a little bit easier for Come With Me. I mean, they can survive against the trial lane, I guess. If you're a puck, you like Escape Hero 101. So he should be okay if it is gonna be an aggressive trial lane, which it won't be, by the way. Because there is a lone druid on the offlane. But where is that Lina gonna go? Is he gonna hang mid to help out Arteezy? That should actually be something that would be worth it, because we already discussed the OD would be... That's not there, by the way, there's no OD, I see that. But the OD would be something... Oh my god! Otherwise you get the 2-man Light Strike Array, that's nice too. That's gonna be Fnatic or No2 on Hera, probably not gonna get themselves, let themselves do that again. So much harassment coming out from Pylite, like he only has 2 left. 2 stuns, but he forces them back. Pushes the lane out as he goes though. But yeah, the OD is actually farming top. So, different lanes all around, I like it.
Yeah, both teams trying to next level each other. With that last pick, Shadow Fiend, to just counter the OD. And also, they were trying to then move things around elsewhere from Fnatic when they realized that was what that pick was for, so they're going to run this off this dual lane in the mid lane, and Arteezy's struggling against it. It's really hard as Shadow Fiend early on to get last hits, especially against a Naga.
He just got his first one. You know, if you are against a Shadow Fiend, can you see the amount of Necromastery he has?
Yeah, if you click on it.
Because then you kind of keep track on how much last hits he has.
Yeah, very easily. You have to know what he's leveling to if he's toward where it's capped. But yes, you can click on him to see how many last hits effectively he has early on. They're going on Arteezy though.
Yeah, there's a net. Let's see how much damage they can do. Here comes Pylite though, but he can't do anything anymore. Or at least, well, him coming in might have forced them back a little bit, but they don't even go on him. They do force out more regen though. He gets his salve again, the second salve that he uses. This one came from Pylite, and well, he's burning through that regen quite fast. Not a 2-man light. Seriously though, like, Era might actually be in some trouble here. Arteezy's gonna get slowed though, that's No-Till saving his life, but those Light Strike Arrays, like, nothing, like, Pylite is letting them brilliantly, but why?
Era found a regen rune though. Turns everything around, he gets all of his mana back. Lucky. And that's absolutely terrible for KP in this middle lane. Now they have to deal with Era at full health and mana basically instantly. Arteezy's still struggling. I don't know what they're going to be able to do about this.
Yeah, of course, Shadow Fiend in general, he needs to be getting a bit ahead. And if he gets ahead, he'll stay ahead. Like, that's the way he works. But, you know, he needs to get ahead first. Because if he gets behind, well, then he's going to be in some trouble. Some problems. We have got Trixie, by the way. It's up against that puck. The matchup should, before level 5, actually favor Envy a little bit. There is a 9-4 score on the Lone Druid, with Envy sitting on 14-2, so that is indeed the case. In the meantime, rotations, Ice Path coming in as well. Dual Breath going through. Arteezy, more trouble than he had before, because this time he's up against 3. There comes the bottle, but it doesn't matter. The first blood goes to Era's Naga Siren. In the meantime, though, from the backside, Come With Me, make sure that he gets a kill, gets a Sprout up on Era, and that's flying away as well. Gets flown over by Bone 7, who has got a very little low HP left. Era walking through flames, can't really do that. And in the end, it's a 1-for-1 trade. I say 1-for-1. Pylite was able to get himself away, very low life. But it's Arteezy that dies first. And they get a kill in return, but it's just a Visage. So Era getting ahead in his middle lane for sure. If he wasn't already, of course, beforehand. Which he was.
Yeah, he definitely was. I don't know what all those pings are about.
No trees, maybe.
Oh, because the trees are gone?
I don't know.
That's weird. Yeah, it went okay for both sides. Fnatic definitely getting the best of it. They got first blood, and a ton of heroes have to go all the way back to base Pylai Die effectively had no HP. Come With Me effectively had no HP. Bone 7.
Oh, they're gonna go again. There comes the net. Is there enough damage? Here comes the Soul Assumption. The Riptide is already on cooldown. The Ice Breath comes in. Nicely done. Fly coming in. And that's gonna be the second time that RTZ dies here in the mid lane.
Yeah, and another kill on that Shadow Fiend. He's just not gonna have really any success this game if it keeps going this way.
I wouldn't be surprised if they switch.
I don't know what they're gonna be able to do now though. If they send Puck to the mid lane, Puck's not really gonna have a great time either anymore. They could try that. And I guess Eternal Envy's level 5, maybe he'll be okay. But I don't know how confident maybe they are in Eternal Envy's Puck play, since he doesn't really play that hero very often.
He does play a lot of pubs, but I don't know what hero he plays. Oh, that's gonna Come With Me in some trouble. Riptide already used, and the Sprout also has Era in it, so that's gonna be Honey with the first kill. So this top lane also won by Fnatic, 31-15 for Honey's OD. While, of course, the Lone Druid, Nature's Prophet was 11 for 2. I can't really say that he was up against Lone Druid, though, because he also was a bit up against the Bat Rider, but Bat Rider is 24-2, has been in the jungle since he rotated middle. And Nature's Prophet will continue going on the top lane. But it's... I mean, that's 2 lanes going the way of Fnatic. They are getting ahead on the bottom lane. Envy is doing fairly well there. You already mentioned, though, he's not that experienced on it. And Lone Druid is level 5 right now, so Entangles will be coming. Question is how much dominance or how much control can Eternal Envy create in the mid game for his team?
Yeah, if he's going to be able to move around and try and set up counter ganks in these lanes, try and build an advantage, particularly in this mid lane where Shadow Fiend is struggling, they could try it if he can get around and do that. But if he leaves this lane, he's going to be leaving Trixie alone to farm on this Lone Druid, and that's also problematic for his team. You know, if you're shutting down one carry, the Naga Siren, but it's at the expense of letting the other one just get complete free farm, it's less than ideal.
For sure.
It's probably still worth it just to try and make space for your Shadow Fiend, but
yeah, I mean, if RTZ rotates bottom together with Pylai Die who's level 3 by the way at the moment, but if they rotate bottom with the 2 of them, maybe they can create some form of safe farm. And I mean, I guess they have to wait for the Bat Rider to be level 6. When he is level 6, and we can rotate with him, and they can try to go for something. And maybe even Bone 7 is very close to a Blink Dagger by that time, because he is saving up for it. Even like he only went for Brown Boots and then Blink Dagger's next item. But he is trying to get those neutrals and get that money up. But will it be fast enough? Because in the meantime, Era is getting okay farm. In the meantime, RTZ getting more and more behind. It's not an easy job.
yeah, definitely. Bone's gonna have a lot of work cut out for him, but he does have
Trixie might actually be. Oh no, the Dream Coil stops, and it's actually Fly that comes in. No, never mind. No kill on the board for KP here on the bottom lane.
Yeah, just the rotation from Jakiro was enough to stop that. They really don't want to tower dive a Lone Druid anyways. He's obviously tanky. That's just kind of his thing. But that rotation from Jakiro was enough to just say, okay, we'll stop for now and back off. In the meantime, Hani's farming pretty well in this top lane. Already has an Oblivion staff picked up, so it looks like he is rushing an Orchid.
I mean, this is like the safe. Oh, I would actually like to see, and the refresher first. How about that?
Rush refresher. You're saying he is going to be so eclipsed, KP. Gonna just cast it twice.
Yeah, because like he is getting ahead. He's level 8, which is the highest level in the game. He's gonna get ahead on intellect very effectively, and he would be able to just do eclipses, and a lot of people would die, including the puck, I think. Well, I mean, maybe not the puck.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna do realistically that much damage to the puck. It would for now, but eventually puck will be picking up into items as well. I don't know. A refresher doesn't give that much intelligence and is very expensive. It might just be worth it to get a lot of intelligence and make sure the one Sanity's Eclipse does lots of damage. Especially considering how many intelligence heroes are on the enemy side. 4 of their 5 heroes are intelligence.
True. You're right. Yeah, it's a more sensible choice. Maybe the
Orchid also very, very effective in puck.
Oh, Era might be in some trouble. He gets lassoed. Twilight Die might still go down for it, but that's not a worthy trade. Nice lasso coming up from both Seven. That was the first time that he did that, and his Blink Dagger is in the Courier. In comes Change of Pace from KP, and this was the first time they lost Era, who has been in all kills so far, by the way, that have happened for his team. No Tail not able to save his carry either. And the courier, Captain Bamboo, his master was dead, and he was just waiting patiently with his items. Never mind, he's back. Well, that was of short duration. I guess that's an upside of having a dual lane mid. You don't level as fast, so you're going to be back up live very fast. It could also be a problem though. Whoa, look at these birds harassing Eternal Envy. The sun's coming in too late from those birds, but yeah, I mean, they are normally Naga Siren. She's not leveling as fast as other carries because she uses her illusions to farm often as well, and of course you don't get experience from the farm that your illusions get, so your levels aren't going up that fast.
Yeah, she's not necessarily going to get as much experience, but she'll get a lot of gold, and that's going to be pretty relevant because no one else was getting that much gold, but Shadowfiend's really caught up in terms of last hits, which is very, very important. That means sort of this dual lane mid, it helped shut down Shadowfiend early, but it didn't really slow him down enough. Because he's now sitting at 42 last hits of his own, completely dead even with that Naga. Probably dying in the bottom lane. Looks like he might be in trouble though.
Yeah, unless there only, I was gonna say only if there was an entangle. The entangle was gonna be there, and he is gonna try to go for the kill. But last two up on Era. Era might be slightly on the wrong side of the fence here, and he does go down, as does Delina. But again, same trade is still not worth it.
Yeah, and they could have gotten that kill without Era dying there because the Visage Familiars are the only things to hit.
Yep.
Pilot dies, he ran out anyways.
Era didn't even get an assist.
Yeah, you can't... Basically that entangle happened right as they were backing off. And so once that happens, it's really unfortunate, but you have to be disciplined enough to know that you just gotta back off. There are too many heroes there, you were disengaging for a reason.
Yep.
And yeah, they end up going back in, just giving up a kill that they didn't need to.
Greed. Greed is the word. One thing though, like I'm looking at the net worth, and that OD is really sick right now. And you already said like there's a lot of intellect heroes. Of course, the Shadowfiend is not an intellect hero, so he's gonna have a lot of trouble. In the meantime, Dreamcoil comes in, they want to take down Hani. Whoa, hello Laguna Blade, and bye Hani. Never knew what hit him, and flying away, doing his name justice. Awesome. Good kill for KP. They really needed that.
Especially since Hani is the biggest farmer on the map by quite a bit right now. He's got 1,000 net worth over the Puck, and Puck is in second place. It's been pretty good for them thus far, but if they can get a couple more kills on Hani, they'll slow him down quite a bit, and that'll be pretty powerful for them.
Yeah, looks like they want to try to go for a fight though. The Birds in some trouble, one is going to get picked off. There is a song if they want to try and set things up, but I think that Fnatic is going to try to turn this around. If they go in here, maybe not. Maybe they don't really want to yet. Blinky and Lasso, that's Era. Might be in some trouble. Here comes S1 Prismet defensively helping out Era. And he is able to fly himself away, getting silenced up for the moment. Is he gonna song? No, he's gonna net. He's gonna net Arteezy. In comes the bear as well. And hello, Eclipse. That is one down. Oh, Hani though. Trouble. Nice entangle up on Bone. He'll go down. That's gonna be Come With Me. Not able to finish the job up on Hani. That is 3 dead on the side of KP. And a buyback even gotten from Arteezy, who comes back to try and take some souls from the small camp here. That buyback was a bit hasty, I think.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an ambitious buyback. He wasn't ever really going to get into that fight in time for anything. Maybe he just wanted to go back to farming, wants to get his souls back up in case there's another fight that takes place immediately, but Fnatic took a lot of damage. None of them actually went down, which is very, very good for them. It was well played by Fnatic to kind of kite the heroes that were low on HP out several times. And now they got that big creep stack, so that's going to give them a lot of farming experience to several of their heroes, but KP will get the tower as a result of it.
Yeah, and that's the first tower to go down on the map in general. Pretty important tower. Not as important as the tier 1 in the Radiant side, but still getting some more map control. And maybe perhaps allowing KP to be a bit more aggressive with blinking in and diving to go for pickups like they went for Era. Only next time maybe Hani won't be around for an Astral Imprisonment. Hani, who has finished up his item, by the way, and it is, well, has not finished up his item. It is his second Oblivion Staff. It is going to be the boring pick. It is going to be the Orchid of Malevolence. Sorry, Orchid Malevolence?
Yes,
I always say of. Like Orchid Malevolence and Orchid of the Malevolence. It sounds logical, more logical in my head.
I think they're using orchid as an adjective instead of a noun. Instead of the flower, they're referring to the color.
Is orchid
Regardless.
a color?
Yeah.
What kind of color?
It's like whitish purple, I think. It's like the color of the flower, but you can use it to describe. I don't know. I guess I could be talking out of my ass here.
Oh, well, it sounds logical. It's just I never knew.
I think that's the case. I believe it's like a close to lilac-ish.
Well, then they did the icon wrong.
Yes, they did. It's not the right color for what orchid. Maybe it's that. I guess orchids are like red in the middle with the white.
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
It comes
so
the song, by the way. Yeah, they want to try and defend their tower and get a kill at the same time. Come with me, and already getting netted up, and he is going to be the one to die, but he is the only one. The rest was already gone. And the reason why the rest was already gone is because Fnatic actually smoked right before the tower went down, rather than after the tower went down. It was a bit awkward. There was a bit of a weird smoke there on that bottom lane, but they do get a kill out of it, and they saved their tier 1 tower, even though, I mean, it's up 140 HP. This is a free tower to take for anybody on KP. But still pretty decent. Looks like Fnatic want to take the tier 1 here on this top lane while they're at it. Ooh. That's a very, like, 0, you know? That's very little.
Yeah, I don't know how many... I guess how many games did they pick up Orchid first is probably relevant.
Yeah.
But we do have a lone druid that's going to have that Midas picked up, so that's going to allow Trixie to have a lot of survivability as farm rather as the game goes on. Unfortunately, his bear dies there.
Yeah, nice eclipse. So Envy getting silenced up, and the Orchid tick will kill him off. So worth it for now. Pilot was able to get himself out of there, and yeah, that was Nature's Prophet ultimate bouncing through and killing off the spirited bear from Trixie. So kind of sloppy, I think, coming off from Trixie there. He could resummon his bear straight after, so nice for him. And I mean, he also gets the tower. In the meantime, the tier 2 tower, I say tier 2, yes, went down on the bottom lane for them. So that is extra map control and go in the way of KP. And if I said tactical towers in the mid lane might not be as important as we are seeing Come With Me going down again, that tier 1 and tier 2 is actually very important for KP, because that dire advantage for them right now is gone. The tier 2 towards Roshan compared to the tier 1 on the side of the Radiant towards Roshan is even, the distance that is.
Yeah, but they still have the tier 2 mid, which
yeah.
is still helpful. But there's the tier 1 in the mid lane for Radiant, so it's like pretty close to even at that point. Regardless, it's not going to matter too much if Fnatic are able to just take this Roshan now.
Yeah, exactly, and they have got the Medallion of Courage helping out, so it shouldn't be too long. One thing that I wanted to point out, and as Pilot actually makes my point void, but this is the only, this was the only ward that is up on the map. There was just also a ward placed by Fnatic, so they're making my point gone again, but there's only 2 wards, 3 wards. There were very little wards on the map a couple of moments ago.
Yeah, it's sort of, they're at this point of the game where wards kind of are dropping down while they're deciding where they want to put them. There were also a lot of fights going on, so all the heroes were clumped together. Not a lot of time for the supports to move around, try and ward. And as a result, Fnatic take advantage. They know that there was a lot of time spent by KP up in that top lane, so that there's unlikely to be wards down in that bottom in the, at this time. So they get that free Roshan, and it's pretty good for them. It's going to make their farming pretty okay, and of course they put the Aegis on Hani.
Yeah, in the meantime,
if he dies in a fight, it's bad. He does almost all of their damage right now.
Yeah, and he needs to be alive twice. Of course, also having twice the mana pool is kind of nice for him as well. Not as same kind of nice as, for example, Queen of Pain, but still pretty decent. You never know how lucky you are with your procs. And you can get unlucky, and you don't want that to happen. So, the same team Come With Me was able to take down the tier 1 tower top finally. And that puts them 2 towers ahead, actually, in terms of towers on the map. We also have, because of that, I think KP sitting ahead on gold is just 1k, but 2 towers ahead should have warranted for more, but then again, they are quite a few kills behind at the same time. Experience graph goes the way of Fnatic, but the difference, again, it's really not that big.
Yeah, it's still a pretty close game. in terms of experience, in terms of gold. Gold favoring KP just slightly because they have all those towers, but the experience favoring Fnatic, and that's because they have all the kills. Still a very close game, and it can go either way depending just on how a couple fights end up going, and we'll see who decides to force those fights, if it's going to be Fnatic with the Song of the Siren, or if it's going to be KP just trying to maybe take a couple more towers down and then force a fight going high ground.
I think it should be KP, because if I look at these lineups and I'm thinking like super late game, I'm thinking KP is going to be in a tough spot. They've got a carry Shadow Fiend, which is great. He has got a BKB, which is nice as well, but he needs more. I think he needs a lot more. Nature's Prophet can be split pushing. I mean, there's still quite a lot of power on the side of KP also late game, but then you're up against a Naga Siren, an OD, and a lone Druid. That's stuff that you can't underestimate. We have a Blinking and a Lasso upon Notio. Can they get him down? Eclipse goes down. There still comes a Dragon Slave though, and that was able to pick up. Notio Ice Path locks in Eternal Envy. They get him down as well as the Pet Rider. All coming off of that one song. There's not a good trade for KP to make. Buyback coming up from the pocket. TP's towards the middle lane. He really wants to keep his tier 1 tower, or maybe buy some time for the top tier 2 to go down. But that is where Honey TP's in, so there's now only a few people left inside this middle lane. 3 people. But
I think they're going on Honey.
Oh, Honey. That might be enough. He has an Aegis though. He's just fine.
Yeah, but he almost killed Come With Me. He 3-shots him right now. So that's less than ideal for the Nature's Prophet. And RTZ, of course, doesn't have a lot of HP as well, so he can be in trouble.
RTZ
and he's
is very much in trouble. Here comes Era with the haste rune. It's got a net as well. Just needs to cast it. Just needs to throw it. Throw it.
I'm not sure why he's waiting so long.
There it is. I was hoping for entangles. Here comes the rest though. Ice Path coming in as well, just in case. And it was No-Tail in the end that gets a kill, so you will get something out of that as well. And of course, I mean, they take the tier 1 tower on the middle lane in the meantime as well, so that dire thing that we were talking about back in the hands of Fnatic, even though Roshan, that is. Roshan advantage, but yeah, there's no Roshan, so don't think they care too much about that right now. But yeah, I just want to point out again, Envy bought back after dying in the mid lane. He bought back, TP to the tier 2, and like, now what? And then he backed off and let his tier 2 fall. It's quite
Tier 1?
surprising.
You mean the tier 1 fell? Because the tier 2 still up.
Oh yeah, I mean the tier 1.
Yeah. He bought back, I think, maybe he was hoping that he could... I don't know if he threw an orb out before he died. I don't think he did, so I can't imagine that was what it was for. I don't know. It's just pretty aggressive with these buybacks, and they haven't really done too much with them. He goes straight back to farming, and if you're playing a carry, sometimes that can be worthwhile. If you know you can get a lot of farms somewhere on the map, like there's a giant creep wave pushing into a tower or whatever. But on a puck, it's probably a little bit more questionable. And gold is starting to go further and further in favor of Fnatic, and that's going to be problematic.
Yeah, and they just scouted out Pylai Die, but I mean, it was the first one that they saw. They were smoked up and they were waiting for a target to go on, but nobody really showed himself until Pylai Die came to the top lane, but he backed off, as did the Bat Rider, was able to TP himself back to base, so that is a wasted smoke for Fnatic. And some wasted time as well, as they just stood still, doing things, or doing nothing rather. We've got 3,900 gold up on Hani. What are you expecting him to go for next? Is it gonna be a Hex?
It could be a Hex, it could also be BKB.
Whoa.
If he doesn't want to get stunned.
82%. Naga Siren, not ensnare. It's not a funny thing for Shadow Fiend. That's a high percentage.
Yeah, a lot of Shadow Fiends buy BKB as kind of their only real survivability item. And of course, if you get hit by ensnare, you're still stuck in place, and Shadow Fiend is naturally just a rather frail hero. Sort of in the same vein as the Outworld Devourer. They kind of do similar things. But yeah, I don't know what Odie's going to buy. It could be a Hex very easily. I think that's probably the right idea. He also might want a BKB though. There's a lot of magic damage coming up from Pylai Die, from Eternal Envy, and from RTZ. All 3 of those heroes do tons of magic damage in these fights, and he's not a particularly tanky hero, seeing at just over 1,000 HP.
It's true. We are gonna see Jakiro almost having a mechanism ready for his team, so that could be something that Fnatic is also looking forward to, is just to have some extra team fighty ability, even though they are looking pretty strong in terms of team fight regardless. And we already had a smoke for KP as well that was kind of wasted. They couldn't find anybody with it. They did end up placing some wards to see if they could find more people, but also that kind of failed. And it's like both teams are happy the way things are going, or at least maybe not specifically happy, but at least okay in terms of how things are going. But they're not really like trying to actively trying to get something going by pushing or something. If they get something by smoke gank, that will be good. But other than that, they're not even trying.
Yeah, neither team is particularly trying to make anything happen right now, and this definitely favors Fnatic. They can sit and farm. Their team is going to be pretty powerful in the late game with Naga, with Lone Druid, and Outworld. They're going to have so much damage. Of course, Lone Druid is a pretty horrific carry as the game goes on. It just does so much damage with the Baron. Your buildings will die very, very quickly, and Naga can do a similar role with all of these illusions. So if they get enough farm, they're going to be able to just sit outside the tower with Era and Trixie and just send the Baron and the illusions in there to take down buildings.
That's the most annoying Dota, though. Like, I saw someone in the chat saying red Dota. Well, that would be red Dota.
That's definitely what red Dota is, but if it works, it works.
That's
you don't have to commit hard.
Very true. I mean, I don't blame them. It's a winner's bracket match. If you win now, it means you have the rest of the evening free, right? Can't be that bad.
Yep. Eternal Envy. Oh, he's gonna port out.
Yeah. Well, he at least constantly keeps the pressure on, and that kind of makes sure that Fnatic isn't gonna be going out of their way too long to try and find something. They are just gonna get forced back again. So, yeah. In the end, it is Honey that picks up Ultimate Orb. So I'm still thinking Hex. Hex.
Yeah, it seems likely that's going to be Hex. He could go for Lincoln's as well, but he's pretty far off, and I don't know. Like, it's good against Orchid, if that's what he's worried about, getting hit by the Orchid, or even maybe the net. But, yeah, Hex is probably better at this point. They need something to be able to take care of Naga and the Bear very quickly.
Yeah, I'm thinking Fly really hopes that some towers go down very soon, because he's been close to his mechanism for a long time now, but he still doesn't have it. Went for mana boots, though. Got those. He hasn't died yet. He's been in 9 out of the 14 kills. That's pretty insane.
With 0 deaths?
0 deaths.
Yeah, that's pretty good for support Jakiro. Jakiro's really slow, and his turn rate's pretty bad. And all of his spell cast times are really long. So you usually end up dying quite a bit with Jakiro just because you get stuck in a weird position. For him not to be dying, you know, that's why he's level 11 on a support when, like, Lina is level 9. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Lina has died twice. Has been in 5 out of the 5 kills, though. I mean, that's 100% involvement rate right there. So not doing bad either. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit surprising. We have got Envy once again TPing out in time, though. Once again TPing out of time. That's a bit boring, I'd almost say. Like, they're being so careful. I'm actually thinking for KP, this is not good. Do you think KP can actually, like, afford this time? I mean, they are a team. I already mentioned, like, I'm thinking in late game they're not going to be able to live up to Fnatic in terms of carry potential and such. And
yeah, it's going to be hard for them. I don't know if they're hoping Come With Me just can split push Fnatic out of the game. It's definitely going to be pretty difficult. But Fnatic, this might be their time to go. With the Radiance getting picked up like we're seeing Musik say, 4 minutes and 30 seconds later than average. Of course, he picked up a Midas beforehand.
yeah.
So, yeah, he's going to have Radiance up on the Bear.
And he was on the offlane.
Yeah, definitely. And we're also going to have the Scythe finish now on Outworld. So he did decide to go for the Sheepstick. It's going to be tough, to say the least, for KP to fight if Fnatic start trying to force the issue right now. And they're going to take an Aegis, which is another sign that that's what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, and in the meantime, this time KP doesn't get anything in return for it, so they don't get any towers, don't get any extra control. They do clean out Fnatic's jungle though, but the question is, how long will they be able to stay there in safety, as we do see Nature's Prophet able to walk himself out of that place. We have got the Diffusal Blade ready upon the Naga Siren as well. Manta Style was already there, so yeah, illusion pressure as well as the Bear. I mean, it's gonna get really tough for Fnatic. The question is when, or sorry, gonna get tough for KP obviously. When is Fnatic gonna make their move? When do they find that they are ready? Is it gonna be... Well, the Hex is already there upon Hani. Is it gonna be when the mechanism is done on Jakiro? They can wait for a long time because he's just buying wards.
Yeah, he's not getting particularly close. The mechanism will come when they get towers. Naga just finished her item though. Lone Druid's not really close to too much of anything. It's like 1800 gold, but nothing really built towards. And yeah, I think this is probably going to be their time. They're just going to start pushing along this top lane.
Yeah, Betrider hiding himself in the jungle while the rest of Fnatic pulls past him. Betrider almost has a BKB ready, by the way. He went for that after 4 staff, so a good one for him as he tries to delay the next creep wave. And that, like, okay, KP, it's you know, they don't want to fight, fair enough, but they also don't want Fnatic to start pushing, and they are doing a good job as making sure that that doesn't happen. They're trying to split push. Oh, TP into the song era. He catches out one. It's only Pylite died. The other one was able to get away RTZ, so they only catch the Lina, but it's at least a kill. A kill.
Yeah, and now they're all grouped up in the mid lane. Their pings, they know exactly where the courier is, and Come With Me's going for it. It's gonna die. Like, Come With Me's gonna get it.
Boom. Bamboo. Captain Bamboo. Oh, he's lying very sad when he's dead. That's actually kind of sad. He was on his way back though, right?
Yeah, he had someone's magic stick on it. I think it was probably Jakiro's when he got the wards or something.
Yeah, no, it was Visage, but yeah, no tail. Support.
Oh, it was no tail, okay. Yeah, because it wasn't even a wand, it was a stick, so I knew it was one of the support heroes. But yeah, all he got was a magic stick. It's more just important because of the gold, but this push can continue in the mid lane. They're taking the tier 2 here. I don't know, KP are gonna try and defend this.
Well, we see Come With Me trying to split push maybe a little bit. 400 pure damage per hit. They don't want to send in that. All the more reason for people to buy BKBs. Of course, that's what Bone 7 is doing already. We already have one up on Arteezy, who, by the way, he had his BKB for a little while already. It was his first item, first big item. He hasn't used it ever. Not once. Still sitting on 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's just kind of a sign of the passivity of this game. We've sat around a lot watching them farm. He got the BKB because he really needed it, and it also keeps him safe in case he gets ganked. The only thing they have that can interrupt the TP then is like, oh, I guess Entangle and Net from Naga can both interrupt BKB. So I guess if both of those heroes are there and they get really lucky with the Entangle after the Net Nutrient TP. But otherwise, yeah, he can get away pretty easily with it.
Yeah. Funny pilot, I tried to steal some creeps from the Naga Siren. She knew that she was there in the jungle. Landed a Dragon Slave, but then Mud Golems. Sad. No gold for pilot eye. Mud Golems. Casting or not, doesn't really work at all. Trixie is getting more and more farm. I mean, we already knew that he had his Radiance. Might not be the fastest one, but since then he's starting to get more and more gold. He's already got his Hyperstone. Basher probably gonna be a next item. Again, something that goes through the BKBs that people will build up against the OD. So I like the lineup of Fnatic. They've got this one big hero that if you pick up a BKB, it doesn't really do anything anymore, which is of course the OD. But then you've got 2 others that don't give a shit about a BKB, basically. Entangles, bashes, and snares, they'll still happen.
Yeah, they have quite a few abilities that go through the BKB. So you need the BKB just to not take the magic, the pure, I guess, actually, damage from the OD. But at the same time, you need just actual health to survive against Naga, to survive against Lone Druid. We're going to be doing lots of physical damage. They have effects that go through BKB and trying to take you down. And OD's trying to kill Come With Me in the bottom lane. There's the scythe.
Can you do it? There's the dust also, just in case, and 3 hits. Yeah, that is just a really bit tricky. I mean, he died that one time when he got ganked when Envy rotated top, but that's the only time that he died. We still have got Jakiro not dying yet, as well as Lone Druid. He was on that suicide lane, of course, but even though he had some tough times at the start, he didn't die, and he is now also got his Vlets ready. So more armor going the way of Fnatic.
Yeah, even more just on Fnatic's side.
I'm still hoping Basher soon, though. But
He
maybe
could go for
Assault
Basher.
Class.
Yeah, he could also go for AC. Would be pretty powerful, especially if they want to start closing out this game. They want to take these towers down very quickly. They've had, they're not really having a ton of success because of all the split pushing going on from KB, and they probably just are going to need to force the issue while Nature's Prophet's down. And I think that's maybe why they did it.
Oh, TP with Song already onto the top lane. Can they catch someone? Yes, they catch Envy. They catch Envy. That's a big target to have. Song is already over though, and he orbs himself away. They know exactly where he is. Here comes an Ice Bat, Macro Pyre, no trees, and that is one dead puck.
Yeah, that was really good by Fnatic. They found him everywhere he went. Even when he orbed over the tree line, they knew exactly where he would be. So they got the kill on Eternal Envy. Unfortunately, Nature's Prophet back up, so they're going to have to kill that guy as well if they want to stop his split pushing. Honey can try and go for that solo kill across the map on his like assassin run, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's like he wants to continue farming as well, I guess. I wasn't gonna say he needs boots of travel, but he already has those. Never mind that. But yeah, Honey is the playmaker right now. He can basically kill anybody one-on-one.
Honey's Blink Dagger now on his OD.
It's fine. He was ahead. He doesn't need more intellect. It's interesting. We are gonna have everybody of Fnatic moving towards the mid lane, apart from Honey, who's gonna be on the bottom lane. But the tier 2 tower will still go down. Only one left, and that's where they're gonna rotate right now. And they don't have to deal with either Come With Me or Pilot Die because they are sitting on the top lane. Blink forward. Honey goes for a hex. One is already invest out. There is a dust, but Honey, he knew that he could only kill off one of the people, and he decided to go for the Lina, the one that couldn't stun him. And Come With Me flees the scene.
Yeah, there's a chance if he goes on the Nature's Prophet there, Pilot Eye lands it, some damage, the stun, and he gets away anyways. So he takes the kill he can get, in the meantime fights. Gonna go on the top lane?
Yeah, Blinking Lasso, that's gonna be flying. This is the first time that he dies, but he is pretty damn dead. BKB, first time that RTZ turns it on. Come With Me gets a kill upon the Naga Siren. He wasn't able to get himself out of there. TP out from Come With Me as well as the bear cannot get an entangle, and it will be killed off here. There we go. That's gonna be Trixie not be able to resummon his bear for another minute. Blink forward, and we can't do anything though. His Dream Coil already on cooldown. 2 pickups for Fnatic and the bear. Not bad. They still lose their tier, or as in Fnatic lost to. Fnatic was still able to pick up the tier 2 tower. And of course getting that kill on Pilot Eye, I'm not really sure if that really counts. It was a 4-on-5 fight though. Because indeed Honey was not there.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the biggest problems is if Honey's running around trying to play that way where he's just countering the split pushing, trying to get those kills on any heroes that split up, then he's not in the fights if they're pushing elsewhere. That's why he bought those boots of travel. I don't know why he didn't make it back in time. If maybe he boots of travel to the bottom lane and I didn't notice. I thought he walked. Regardless, they do end up getting quite a few kills in that bottom lane on the chase out the bear, which is also important. Having the bear down buys them at least a little bit of time, since it's also risky to push again, especially into the high ground, without a bear resummon.
Yeah, you generally want to have 2 bears at your disposal, at least 2. Maybe sacrifice one and just, you know, send him on a tower and be okay with him if he dies. We do have Roshan up again, by the way, in a minute, so that's probably going to be something that Fnatic is going to go for. And this will be a Roshan with cheese. It's going to be the 3rd one. So I'm actually thinking KP probably should try to counter that. Should try to fight it, but can they fight it is the question. Ooh, Hex. That's going to be no-till. Maybe in some trouble. One bird already picked off. Here comes a Dream Coil up on 2. And the bear already having a Dream Coil as well. TP in from Honey on the bear. He actually cancelled it though. He didn't go here. BKB turned on by the Bed Rider looking for someone. Finds Fly as Arteezy looking for some targets as well. Goes for Fly as well. That's going to be the 2nd death. Arteezy will end up going down as well though. Era comes in with the song and buybacks all around. Jakiro buys back. Nature's Prophet of course already buying back after going down. And here comes Honey. And there goes Come With Me. And that's gonna be an Astro Imprisonment holding in place. Bone 7, who will force stuff to the high ground, might actually live or not from the low ground. Honey might be able to get something done. The birds. Oh, hello, Eclipse. And that's a gem on the floor. And that is gonna be 3 dead. Sorry, am I saying 3? Yeah, 4 dead on the side of KP. Well, of course, 2 are the same because Come With Me died twice. And that's gonna be tier 3 tower if. Oh, by Envy. I don't know why he was still hanging around.
He was trying to get away, he got Astro imprisoned.
Ah, okay. Still on the flea. Well, that's gonna be Rax.
Yeah, a lot of buybacks are on cooldown. Obviously, we have Nature's Prophet down, which is one of the more important ones. The rest of the heroes just really don't have it, except for Shadow Fiend. And Arteezy, he's going to be the first one to respawn anyway, so there's no point in him buying back.
Yep. And there goes the Rax. Tier 3 tower, of course, picked up first. They could try to rotate, would be baiting out another fight, but maybe they think they could do it. And they actually are going to rotate top, see if they can get it done. They have a lot of illusions, and that bear, of course, as well. And look at that tower just getting melted. They get it, and they get the Rax with this as well. There's no fortification up on Fnatic, and that is going to be 2 sets of Rax out of 1 fight, purely because KP thought, oh, Bone, this could be a free pass for Fnatic to go for more. No lasso for a whole minute. But they are gonna back off. Fly actually sitting around too long at the base, but I mean, that was KP trying to stop them from going on Roshan. Was an initiation that all started with a Dream Coil up on a support and a bear and a Visage. 2 supports and a bear, basically. They did get the 2 supports, but in comes the rest, and well, result is that there. Oh, lol. Did you see that?
The Nature's Prophet summoning the trees next to Honey.
Yep.
Yeah, he was like, wait, what?
And Honey, you could actually, like, if he had a chance, if he was fast enough, could have blinked over the tree line with 4 hex. But they're gonna go for Roshan right now. I mean, this is a pretty safe Roshan for them to take.
Yeah, Lone Druid's got AC and Basher done now at the same time. They're both sitting in his stash.
Oh,
Heart finished finally by Naga.
Oh, they're gonna go in though. Blinking, Lasso, no tail. Gonna be the first one. The song is already there though, but the BKBs are turned on and they're trying to flee. Look at the HP of Arteezy already. Walks right into that ice path as he sees Eternal Envy going down. Laguna Blade still gets rid of the Aegis, so that's something. Jakiro uses the cheese. I'll be able to stay alive for now. Gets an ice path. That's Envy down. Bone 7 down. Pylite die on the run. Gets a nice light strike array, stopping Hani from chasing for a little while longer. It's gonna be GG. KP, they don't want to take this anymore. They will force out. Well, they don't force out. They will get a game number 2 to have a retry to see if they can force out a game number 3, because that's gonna be their goal. Of course, it is a best of 3 winners bracket finals. The group number B. Who goes to the playoffs and who has to go to the loser bracket finals to still try and fight for their space in the playoffs? It is the Corsair Gaming Summer Tournament. Any final words?
Just pretty well played by Fnatic there. I think their draft was also a lot better, and they really, I think, next leveled KP in the early laning phase. KP were like, haha, we're gonna pick this Shadow Fiend and we'll outlane you completely by putting him mid against COD. Fnatic were like, sure you will, and then just completely changed every single lane and pretty much won every single lane as well, and it's hard to come back from that. Even though it was close for a long time, it just eventually, Fnatic had also better late game, so it's tough for KP there.
Yep, and we're gonna probably see that change throughout in the draft a bit. I mean, we at the start did talk about the draft like it's not something that we often see. Eternal Envy on a puck, for example. If it wasn't an anti-mage there, it might have a different answer to the aggression coming off from Fnatic, but they couldn't get it done this time, and we are gonna see if they can get it in game number 2, because that's where we're moving on to right now. It is, of course, I already said everything, never mind. We're gonna jump ourselves to the second game, so stick around, because more Dota 2 action coming your way in just a moment.